Reddit, I want to hear your horrifying Furby stories.
I have been waiting my whole life for this. In elementary school, I was invited to a sleepover at my friend Sally's for her birthday. There were quite a few girls going. We were told everyone was going to sleep in the family room, and somehow I scored the couch. Now Sally loved Furbies, and above the couch was a shelf dedicated to them. There were a shit ton of Furbies in different shapes, sizes, and colors on that shelf. So the party is okay, everyone gets ready for bed, and I get comfortable on the couch. Fast forward a few hours, everyone is dead asleep, I myself am in a nice deep sleep. When suddenly the shelf breaks, the wooden part falls behind the couch, while the Furbies rain down on my sleeping form. Activated by whatever the fuck activated Furbies, movement, or sound or whatever, they come alive. I am awoken by a horde of Furbies, all over me, talking and moving and looking at me. I eventually recovered from that night, but I had nightmares for years after.
My brother had a Furby and got bored with it, so he decided to skin it. I woke up one morning to a hollow Furby pelt. It maintained the same shape, sitting on my chest. Its hollow eye holes were particularly terrifying.
I had a Furby that I loved for a few months, then I turned her off and set her up in my closet. I didn't want to give her away. She sat there, in view, with her eyes closed. For probably 4 years. One day I opened my closet door, her eyes are open. She blinked at me. Then I got rid of her. Sorry, me laka.
One of my elementary school friends' houses burned down, electrical, no funny business, and nobody was hurt. So we were going through some boxes of his stuff and trying to find anything that was salvageable or still usable. I pulled his charred husk of a Furby out and look at it for a second. As I'm about to throw it in the trash pile, it starts talking. I flip shit and whip it into the road where it gets run over by a passing ice cream truck. We go to investigate and its mouth is still opening and closing. But no sound came out. The thought of it still haunts me to this day.
When I was younger, my family moved to NH because of my dad's job, so almost every weekend we would visit our house in New York. On one of the 3.5-hour car rides, I brought along one of those baby Furbies to entertain me. Out of nowhere, the Furby started freaking the fuck out and was making strange noises and really loud, high-pitched chants. The bottom where the batteries were was overheating to the point where it was almost too hot to touch, so we started scrambling around the car for a screwdriver to remove the batteries. We couldn't find one and the thing kept getting hotter, so I think we threw the thing out the window.
My brother had one that he left in the kitchen one night. In my half-asleep stupor, all I could see was black kitchen blobs, since I didn't want to turn on the light and burn my eyes out. So I get my glass of water and start to head back when I hear something giggle behind me. Then ask for food. I couldn't see anything, so I just backed away slowly and it said bye. I didn't go in the kitchen the next day until my mom went and figured out what the hell that was. Turns out I couldn't see it because he took off all the fur parts, so it was just a black blob of parts. I'm glad I couldn't see it because all there really was were a pair of eyes to see, and that would have scared me worse than anything.
I'd like to point out that Furbies are not actually taught new words by the owners. They initially are programmed to speak Furbish. Then as the time they have been played with increases, they will learn only the English words that have been pre-recorded and programmed into the computer inside them. Sorry to burst everyone's bubble, but it is literally impossible to teach a Furby to say fuck unless you actually change its programming and add a recording of yourself saying it. Which I would totally do.
My sister and I both received them for Christmas, though we didn't ask for them. A few weeks later, we were playing Barbies in our room when the two Furbies started talking for no reason at all with their creepy voices. From that moment, we knew they were evil or at least possessed by tiny demons, so we decided to throw them away. We did. They showed up the next morning on our dresser that was right next to our beds. Scared us even more. So we decided to destroy them, with heat. My mom had a Showtime rotisserie oven she bought off the TV. We put our Furbies in it and tried to roast them. She saw it, took them out and placed them on top. She forgot to turn off the rotisserie, and the lower half of them melted into this nasty plastic fur and wire mound of the toy. My dad came home from work that day and after getting pissed at us, went to the garage and scraped them off with a paint scraper. He put them back in our room on our dresser and told us we better not throw them away. My sister and I still have melted Furbies in our old room on the shelf of our closet. TLDR, our Furbies scared us, we roasted their asses and got in trouble.
I bought one, and when someone bumped it off the table, after we set it up again, it only spoke in the demonic, backwards English-sounding, devil voice. It also functioned without batteries in it during the middle of the night. Horrifying.
I knew a woman who weighed no less than 800 pounds. She was incontinent, smelly, and I once saw an entire roasted chicken enter her bedroom, and a bony chicken carcass exit in only 20 minutes. She could have made it onto the Hoarder Show. I was friends with her kid, which is the only reason I'd go over there. But this woman collected Furbies. She hoarded Furbies. She kept them on shelves above her bed, and they all smelled like her pee, and watched. Just watched. Hundreds of alien eyes and tufted ears sitting vigil for their master.